middle, there was a massive bell. Someone rang it, and everything went quiet.
Barnabas! Barnabas!
Then they started chanting his name. Barnabas, and the gates were massive. People were everywhere. You could feel excitement in the air. I didn't really know what to expect, but I could feel it too. I checked the map and went to find the one thing everyone kept talking about: Barnabas. The first place I found was the nursery. They raised baby T-Rex here. Violet fur, small, calm. It didn't even feel real. The keepers were feeding them by hand, slow and careful, like they'd done it 1,000 times. I even got to feed one, Barnabas Jr. I was a little nervous, but he didn't seem to mind at all.
This little guy is T-Rex violatus. Not quite as big as his dad, Barnabas Jr. has a lot of growing to do.
They said these came from the island, but looking at them, it was hard to believe something like this even existed. I followed a path out of the nursery, and that's when things started to feel different. The further I walked, the more people there were.
Welcome everybody, we're very excited to introduce our juvenile T-Rex violatus. These guys just moved outdoors and are very happy about it.
It almost felt like everyone already knew where they were going, like they'd been here before, and I was just catching up.
The entrance is right up ahead.
Then I saw it, a stadium, people everywhere, cheering, wearing purple hats, flags, even T-Rex tails. It felt less like a zoo and more like a game.
Welcome to Barnabas Stadium. In just a few moments, we'll be ringing the Barnabas bell to call for our favorite dinosaur.
Barnabas! Barnabas!
Right in the middle, there was a massive bell. Someone rang it, and everything went quiet.
Barnabas! Barnabas!
Then they started chanting his name. Barnabas, and when he stepped out, I understood why.
Barnabas may look scary, but he's actually become very tame. It's pretty incredible how attached these animals can get.
He was the first of his kind discovered right here on the island by the group who established this zoo. You wouldn't believe how old he is.
We've found Barnabas has actually bonded with one of our younger visitors named Emerson. We've even seen them running around the park together.
He was massive. They said he was the first of his kind ever found on the island. He looked terrifying, but somehow he didn't feel that way. They told us about a young visitor, Emerson, one of the first visitors. They said he wasn't afraid, and somehow Barnabas wasn't either. After that, everything changed. I left the stadium and just walked for a bit. I remember thinking how strange it felt. Like at some point, my brain just accepted it. And I couldn't stop thinking about what else might be hidden deeper inside. The path ahead led deeper into the park. There was a sign pointing towards something called the King of the Jungle. It showed what looked like a giant ape, so I decided to follow it. On the way, I noticed a few people stopped off the path, just staring at something in the grass. When I walked over, there was this tiny creature just sitting there. They called it a grass goblin. It didn't look dangerous, but a keeper came over anyway. He said they'd started showing up around the park recently, growing in the gardens, and they were completely harmless. There were signs everywhere. Don't feed the monsters. Yeah, I wasn't planning on it. A little further down, I found a small fenced area with a few keepers. That's where I met Pebbles.
This little guy is Pebbles. He's about 3 weeks old and loves attention.
I wasn't sure what he'd do when I got close, but he didn't move. The keepers showed me how to pet him, and after a second, I think he actually liked it.
When Pebbles grows up, he's going to be just like Waddles here.
They told me Pebbles would grow up to be like Waddles, a full-grown version of the same monster type. And even then, he still liked being a pet. It was strange. I always thought monsters would be dangerous, but here they felt calm, almost friendly. The keeper said even the small ones didn't stay small for long. It made me wonder where all the big ones were. As I kept walking, the path started to open up. The enclosures got bigger and the space around me started to feel different.
This is one of our juvenile giant apes. The apes are only found on this island and grow to a massive size.
One of them stepped closer. They said it was still growing.
Do you think it sees us?
It's incredible.
I kept following the path until it opened into the biggest jungle I'd ever seen. Rolling hills, massive trees. You could hear everything, birds, insects, and something else moving deeper inside. Giant apes moving through the jungle. At first it felt a little scary, but then I noticed there weren't any fences. You could walk right up to them.
All right, just ahead is the king of the jungle himself. Now let's go meet him.
And then I saw him. He was bigger than anything I'd seen in the park. And that's when it hit me. This wasn't just a zoo anymore. It felt like something else. A real monster zoo. I took a few minutes to catch my breath after the jungle. That place felt bigger than I expected. Then I remembered something from the flyer. The sea monsters. There was a tram running through the park, so I took it over to the aquarium. When I got there, it didn't look like a normal aquarium. It was a tunnel with water all around you.
Wow, that is amazing.
I even got to watch them feed. They moved fast, faster than I expected. I asked if they got any bigger. The keeper just smiled and said, "We don't keep the big ones here." After the aquarium, I found another section. The sign said, Kaiju Nursery. I didn't really know what that meant, but I decided to check it out. That's when I saw him, a small one. They called him Kai.
All right, everyone, this is little Kai. He's a newborn, barely a week old, and already look at those dorsal fins glow.
He looked like a tiny Godzilla. It was strange seeing something like that. Then I saw the bigger one.
You're lucky. The big guy does this about once or twice a year.
The keeper said they're nature's way of dealing with radiation, but honestly, I wasn't even really listening. I couldn't